Welcome, book lovers, to another episode of Book Central Inside the Pages, where we dive into the world of books and the fascinating stories behind their creation. I'm your host, Abby, and today, we have a special guest who knows a thing or two about navigating the complex landscape of publishing. Please welcome Lisa Calloway, an expert in digital and broadcasting marketing. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Abby. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here and to share some insights with your listeners.
The pleasure is all mine. Today, we're tackling a topic that many aspiring authors wrestle with: the differences between self-publishing and traditional publishing. Lisa, you've worked with authors from both camps. Can you start by giving us a broad overview of what each route entails?
Absolutely, Abby. Let's start with traditional publishing. In this route, an author usually begins by submitting their manuscript to literary agents. These agents act as gatekeepers and advocates, trying to sell the manuscript to publishing houses. If a publisher picks it up, they take on the responsibilities of editing, designing the cover, formatting the book, and marketing it. This means the author gets a team of professionals working on their book, which can be a huge advantage. The author typically receives an advance payment against future royalties, which are a percentage of book sales. On the other hand, self-publishing puts the author in the driver's seat. You're responsible for every aspect of the publishing process, from editing to cover design, marketing, and distribution. Platforms like Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing KDP, IngramSpark, and others provide tools to make this process more accessible. However, all the upfront costs and effort fall on the author. The upside is that self-published authors keep a larger share of the profits, as there are no middlemen to pay.
Interesting. Let's talk about the perception of both paths. Some say traditional publishing lends more credibility. Do you think that's still the case, especially with the growing quality of self-published works?
That's a great question, Abby. Traditionally, having a publishing house behind a book did lend a certain level of credibility because it meant the book had passed through rigorous selection and editing processes. However, the landscape is shifting. With the rise of high-quality self-published books and authors who manage to produce professional-level work, self-publishing is gaining respect. Today, many readers are indifferent to the publishing route as long as the book is well-written and engaging. Hybrid authors, those who dabble in both self-publishing and traditional publishing, are also helping to blur the lines. They prove that both paths can lead to successful and credible careers. The key is quality regardless of the publishing method. A well-crafted book will always find its audience.
Good point. What about the financial aspects? Which route tends to be more lucrative for authors, considering advances, royalties, and other financial factors?
The financial aspects can vary widely depending on numerous factors, Abby. Traditional publishing offers the lure of an advance, which is an upfront payment that authors receive upon signing a book deal. This can provide some financial stability while the book is being prepared for release. However, royalties from traditional publishing are generally lower because the publisher, agent, and other intermediaries take their cut. Authors might earn anywhere from 10 to 15 royalties on net sales, depending on their contract. In contrast, self-published authors don't receive an advance, but they keep a significantly higher percentage of the sales revenue, often around 70% on platforms like KDP. This means that if a self-published book sells well, the financial rewards can be substantial. However, self-published authors need to cover all the costs up front, including editing, cover design, and marketing. The potential for higher earnings is there, but so is the risk.
Let's dive into the creative control aspect. How much say does an author have in each scenario when it comes to editing, cover design, and overall presentation?
Creative control is a major differentiator between the two paths. In traditional publishing, authors might find they have limited say in certain aspects of their book. For example, while they can provide input on the cover design, the final decision often rests with the publisher, who relies on market research and their team's expertise. The same goes for editing. Editors at publishing houses make decisions that they believe will enhance the book's marketability, which can sometimes mean significant changes to the manuscript. Self-publishing, on the other hand, offers complete creative control. Authors get to make all the decisions, from cover design to formatting and marketing strategies. This can be incredibly rewarding, as it allows for a personal touch and ensures that the book aligns perfectly with the author's vision. However, it also means that authors need to either have the skills or hire professionals to ensure the book meets industry standards.
That sounds liberating but also overwhelming. How do self-published authors handle the marketing side of things, given they don't have the backing of a big publishing house?
Marketing is indeed one of the biggest challenges for self-published authors, Abby. Without the established channels and budgets of a traditional publisher, self-published authors need to be proactive and resourceful. Many start by building a strong online presence, including a professional website and active social media profiles. Engaging directly with readers through platforms like Goodreads, book blogs, and social media can help build a loyal following. Investing in targeted advertising on platforms like Amazon, Facebook, and BookClub can also be effective. Some authors opt to hire publicists or marketing experts to help create and execute a strategic plan. It's a lot of work, but the key is consistency and building genuine connections with readers. Word of mouth and positive reviews are incredibly powerful marketing tools.
What about the timeline from manuscript to published book? How do the two compare in terms of speed to market?
The timeline is another area where the differences are quite stark. Traditional publishing can be a lengthy process. After an author secures an agent and a publishing deal, it can take a year or more for the book to be edited, designed, and marketed before it finally hits the shelves. This timeline allows for a comprehensive preparation process, but it requires patience. Self-publishing is much faster. Once the manuscript is polished and ready, authors can publish their book within days or weeks. The speed to market is one of the biggest advantages of self-publishing. However, it's important for self-published authors to ensure they don't rush the process at the expense of quality. Taking the time to hire professional editors and designers can make a big difference in the final product.
Let's talk about success stories. Can you share examples of authors who have thrived in both self-publishing and traditional publishing?
Certainly, Abby. There are many notable success stories in both realms. Hugh Howey is a great example. He started with self-publishing his Wool series, which garnered a massive following. The success of his self-published work led to a lucrative deal with a traditional publisher. This allowed him to reach an even wider audience while still retaining control over his ebook rights. Amanda Hawking is another inspiring case. She initially struggled to get her books traditionally published, so she turned to self-publishing. Her paranormal romance novels became incredibly popular, leading to over 1 million sales. This success caught the attention of traditional publishers, and she eventually signed a multi-million-dollar deal.
Those are incredible stories. Now, Lisa, if you were advising a new author, what factors would you suggest they consider when choosing between self-publishing and traditional publishing?
I'd tell them to start by considering their personal goals, resources, and temperament. If they crave creative control and are willing to invest both time and money into their book, self-publishing might be the right path. They should be prepared to handle everything from editing to marketing. It's ideal for authors who enjoy entrepreneurial challenges and have a clear vision for their book. On the other hand, if they prefer having a team of professionals behind them and don't mind sharing control, traditional publishing could be more suitable. They should be patient and ready to navigate the submission process, which can be competitive and time-consuming. Additionally, understanding the specific market and genre can help. Some genres, like romance and science fiction, often perform well in self-publishing due to their dedicated online communities.
Those are valuable insights. Lastly, any parting advice for our listeners who are aspiring authors?
I'd say, stay informed and be flexible. The publishing landscape is always evolving. Keep learning about new trends, network with other authors, and don't be afraid to take risks. Your path to publication might be different from others, and that's perfectly fine. Focus on honing your craft and telling the best story you can. Whether you choose self-publishing or traditional publishing, persistence and passion are key.
Fantastic advice. Lisa. Thank you so much for joining us today and shedding light on this important topic.
Thank you, Abby. It's been a pleasure.
And to our listeners, we hope you found this episode as enlightening as I did. Remember, whether you choose self-publishing or traditional publishing, the most important thing is to keep writing and sharing your stories with the world. Until next time, happy reading and happy writing. This has been Books Central Inside the Pages with your host, Abby. Special thanks to Lisa Calloway for joining us today. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave us a review. Catch you in the next episode.